In the spring of 1940, buried deep inside Luftwaffe intelligence files, sat an assessment that would soon haunt Germany's air commanders. According to their analysts, Britain's Hawker Hurricane was already obsolete, a transitional fighter, slow, outdated, and utterly outclassed by modern German aircraft. On paper, the verdict seemed final. In the sky, it would prove disastrous. Early reports from German pilots reinforced the illusion. Encounters over the Channel suggested the Hurricane was slower than the Messerschmitt Bf 109, climbed less aggressively, and looked like a relic compared to the sleek Spitfire. One Luftwaffe squadron commander even dismissed it as proof that the RAF had entered the war unprepared. These conclusions weren't propaganda. They shaped real tactical planning. Bomber crews were briefed that Hurricanes were easy opponents. Fighter pilots were told to hunt Spitfires first and treat Hurricanes as training targets. Some Jägerschwader units assigned inexperienced pilots to fight them, believing the risk was minimal. German command never questioned why Britain had produced more than 1,500 Hurricanes by the summer of 1940, or why twice as many squadrons flew them compared to the celebrated Spitfire. The roots of this miscalculation stretched back to 1938. German intelligence correctly identified the Hurricane's fabric-covered fuselage and its lineage from Hawker's biplane designs. Performance figures showed a top speed of just over 318 miles per hour, well below the Bf 109. Reconnaissance photos from French airfields seemed to confirm it. Thick wings, blunt lines, and none of the aerodynamic elegance Germany associated with modern air power. Hermann Göring embraced these assumptions wholeheartedly. In planning conferences before the Battle of Britain, he assured his staff that fighter command relied on outdated machines, held together by fabric and hope. His confidence that the RAF could be destroyed in 4 days rested heavily on the belief that Hurricanes would collapse under pressure. They didn't. The first warning signs appeared during the Channel battles of July 1940. German pilots reported Hurricanes that refused to die, aircraft absorbing damage, staying airborne, and continuing to fight. Even more alarming, their 8 Browning machine guns were tearing apart Dornier and Heinkel bombers with brutal efficiency. By mid-August, after hundreds of Luftwaffe losses, some German fighter pilots quietly revised their opinions. The Hurricane might be slower, they admitted, but it was devastating at its real mission, killing bombers. Still, command arrogance persisted. Operations continued under the assumption that Hurricanes were a fading second-rate force, a mistake that would cost Germany air superiority, the invasion plan, and any chance of forcing Britain to surrender. The irony was profound. The Hurricane was never meant to be revolutionary. Chief designer Sidney Cam wasn't chasing aerodynamic perfection when he began the project in 1934. He wanted a fighter that could be built quickly, repaired easily, and flown safely by average pilots. While R.J. Mitchell pursued elegance with the Spitfire, Cam chose proven methods, a steel tube frame, fabric covering, and a powerful Merlin engine. It was not backward thinking. It was strategic genius. The Hurricane could be built by furniture makers and car factories. Battle damage could be repaired overnight with fabric and dope. Its wide undercarriage reduced landing accidents. Its thick wings housed fuel tanks safely inboard. And its 8-gun armament delivered a devastating 260 rounds per second, enough to rip apart bombers in 2-second bursts. Equally important, the Hurricane was forgiving. It stalled gently, handled predictably, and gave pilots excellent visibility. While Spitfire pilots wrestled for perfection, Hurricane pilots focused on one thing: shooting. Originally ordered as an interim solution in 1936, the Hurricane became the backbone of fighter command by necessity. By the summer of 1940, Britain fielded 32 Hurricane squadrons compared to just 19 Spitfire units. The so-called stopgap had become the shield of the nation. That shield was tested first in France. Hurricane squadrons deployed with the Advanced Air Striking Force in late 1939, spending months patrolling over a quiet front. Many pilots wondered if the war would end without real combat. That illusion vanished on May 10, 1940, when Germany launched its full assault on the West. Within hours, Hurricanes were fighting the Luftwaffe in the first massed air battles since the Great War. Near Sedan, No. 73 Squadron intercepted Dornier bombers at 11,000 feet. Leading the attack was Flight Lieutenant Edgar "Cobber" Kane, a New Zealander and the RAF's first fighter ace of the war. He pushed his Hurricane forward into a head-on attack. He didn't hesitate. The German crews, expecting little resistance, held tight formation, perfect geometry for a killing pass. Kane's Hurricane surged forward. 8 Brownings opened at once. The lead Dornier's cockpit vanished in a flash of tracer. The pilot was killed instantly. The bomber pitched forward and slammed into the earth, taking its crew with it. Within 10 minutes, No. 73 Squadron had destroyed 5 bombers without a single loss. Across the front, the pattern repeated. No. 1 Squadron under Squadron Leader Bull Hallahan tore into Bf-110s and Henschel reconnaissance aircraft, claiming 8 victories in a single day. No. 87 Squadron intercepted unescorted Heinkel He-111s over Belgium and annihilated them. 6 bombers destroyed in one engagement. The Luftwaffe, masters of the skies over Poland and France, made a grim discovery. Britain's supposedly obsolete fighters had teeth. German intelligence had predicted a 3-to-1 advantage for the Bf-109 over the Hurricane. Reality shattered that assumption. During May 1940, Hurricanes fought German fighters to near parity and slaughtered bombers outright. Between May 10th and May 27th, Hurricane squadrons in France claimed over 300 confirmed enemy aircraft destroyed, while losing roughly 75 of their own in air combat. A 4-to-1 ratio in Britain's favor. Squadron leader Peter Townsend of No. 85 Squadron recorded the results bluntly. 2-second bursts from 200 yards caused visible disintegration. German bombers, built for speed rather than protection, simply couldn't survive concentrated fire. Fuel tanks ignited. Control surfaces vanished. Structural failure followed in seconds. Just as important, these battles proved Sidney Cam's philosophy correct. Hurricanes returned riddled with damage, fabric shredded, frame scarred, yet remained flyable. Pilots belly-landed in fields. Ground crews patched holes overnight with fabric and dope. One aircraft from No. 87 Squadron took a 20mm shell through the rear fuselage, leaving a hole large enough to crawl through. It flew 3 sorties the very next day. By late May, Luftwaffe intelligence reports quietly shifted tone. One captured document admitted British monoplane fighters showed unexpected resilience and firepower. The reassessment came too late. By the time Dunkirk began, Hurricane pilots had refined brutal efficiency. Close in, fire short devastating bursts, disengage before escorts arrived. They brought that hard-earned knowledge home to Britain with barely 3 weeks to rest. When the Luftwaffe returned, the Hurricanes were waiting. July 10, 1940, officially marked the opening of the Battle of Britain. Fighter Command's order of battle told a story rarely remembered. Of 59 operational squadrons, 32 flew Hurricanes. Only 19 flew Spitfires. The rest operated outdated types. The Hurricane wasn't support, it was the backbone. Air Chief Marshal Hugh Dowding organized his defense with ruthless logic. Hurricanes intercepted bombers. Spitfires engaged escorts. Not because Spitfires were vastly superior, but because Hurricanes were more numerous and faster to replace. July's Channel battles tested endurance. German doctrine sent massive formations, dozens of bombers with heavy fighter cover. Hurricane squadrons scrambled repeatedly, sometimes 5 times a day. No. 111 Squadron logged 73 combat sorties in a single week. Pilots flew until exhaustion blurred their vision. The Hurricane endured because it could be maintained with minimal crews under relentless pressure. Then came Adlertag, August 13th. Göring committed nearly 1,500 aircraft in an all-out attempt to destroy Fighter Command. Hurricanes met them from Portsmouth to Newcastle. No. 17 Squadron shot down 8 Stukas in 12 minutes. No. 143 Squadron destroyed 6 Dorniers over Eastchurch. The pattern held. Hurricanes devastated bombers. Spitfires tangled with escorts. From late August into early September, the Luftwaffe shifted to attacking RAF airfields. Biggin Hill, Kenley, Hornchurch, Manston, cratered, burning, barely operational. Hurricanes scrambled while bombs still fell. Number 32 Squadron flew combat sorties as ground crews filled runway craters behind them. The Hurricanes kept flying. Records reveal the strain. Hurricane squadrons in number 11 group averaged over 4 engagements per day, significantly more than Spitfire units. They went after the bombers every time. Pilots accumulated combat hours at punishing rates. Some logged more fighting time in a month than others would in an entire war. By September 7th, German bombers turned toward London. Attrition now hit Hurricane units hardest. Veteran pilots were lost faster than replacements arrived. Aircraft accumulated damage faster than workshops could repair them. Still, Hurricanes rose to meet every raid. Air Ministry records list 1,593 enemy aircraft destroyed by Hurricane squadrons between July and October 1940. Post-war analysis using German loss records largely confirmed the figure. Hurricanes accounted for roughly 60% of verified RAF kills, primarily bombers. The Hurricane wasn't fast. It wasn't elegant. But against bomber formations, speed didn't matter. Stability did. The Hurricane's thick wing turned it into a flying gun platform. 8 Brownings converged their fire into a 6-foot kill zone at 250 yards. 2 seconds meant hundreds of rounds. Bombers built light simply came apart. German pilots had misjudged everything that mattered. And that misjudgment ensured one outcome. The Hurricane didn't just survive the Battle of Britain. It broke the Luftwaffe's ability to win it. Townsend's Hurricane surged on. He zeroed in on a He-111 already scarred from a prior attack. At 200 yards, he unleashed a 3-second burst. Strikes tore across wing and fuselage as the bomber's rear gunner returned fire. Tracer ripped his own engine cowling. Yet the Hurricane held. Townsend fired again. Flames engulfed the starboard engine. The He-111 plummeted near Dungeness. Townsend landed safely at Cudden. Ground crews counted 11 bullet holes in the Hurricane, 2 piercing the engine but missing vital components. The aircraft flew again the next morning. A week later, Flight Lieutenant James Brindley Nicholson faced near death over Southampton. A Bf-110 fired 2 shells, hitting his engine and detonating the fuel tank. Flames engulfed his cockpit. Most would have bailed immediately. Nicholson did not. He drove the burning Hurricane onto the enemy, fired continuously, and downed the Bf-110. Only then did he escape. Badly burned, he spent 3 months recovering. His Victoria Cross citation praised courage beyond measure, but it also proved one thing. The Hurricane's stability allowed pilots to operate under extreme conditions and still fight effectively. Squadron leader Douglas Bader brought a different intensity. Double amputee before the war, he led No. 242 Squadron at Coltishall with audacious head-on attacks. His tactic, close at full throttle into bomber formations, minimizing the time German gunners could aim. On August 30th, he attacked Dornier 17s from dead ahead at 500 yards. He tore through lead cockpits and engines. His Hurricane absorbed 4 hits, none serious. His wingman destroyed a second bomber. The formation scattered before reaching its target. Sergeant James Ginger Lacey of No. 501 Squadron perfected deflection shooting, leading targets at dangerously close range. He claimed 18 kills, explaining with a grin, "Slow? Compared to what? I'm 50 miles per hour faster than the bombers. That's all that matters." Flight Lieutenant Robert Stanford Tuck of No. 257 Squadron embodied precision. Methodical, calculating, he positioned his Hurricane a single ring ahead of crossing bombers, fired short bursts, and downed them with remarkable efficiency. He claimed 27 kills using fewer than 400 rounds per victory. These pilots weren't superhuman. They were professionals exploiting the Hurricane's unique strengths: stability, firepower, and ruggedness. The Luftwaffe kept sending bombers. The Hurricanes kept destroying them. The math was simple, brutal, and in Britain's favor. By late 1940, the Battle of Britain ended, but the Hurricanes' war had only begun. While headlines celebrated Spitfire aces, Hurricanes deployed to theaters of necessity: Malta, the Arctic, and Burma. Malta, June 1940. Hurricanes flew off HMS Argus into cratered airfields, enduring tropical heat, sand, and constant bombardment. They engaged bombers at 28,000 feet, strafed E-boats at sea level, and between April and October 1942, claimed over 900 Axis aircraft. Arctic operations. Sea hurricane variants protected convoys from frozen escort carriers, engaging FW-200s and E-115s in sub-zero conditions. Metal airframes cracked, fabric-covered fuselages flexed and survived. Burma, 1942. Hurricane Mark II with 12 machine guns faced Japanese Zero fighters in dense jungle low-altitude combat. The aircraft absorbed punishment that grounded lighter planes while remaining controllable, supporting ground attacks with bombs and rockets through 1945. Despite its vital contributions, the Hurricane's fame lagged. Spitfires were celebrated for elegance, speed, and romance. Hurricanes, thick-winged and fabric-covered, were workmanlike, efficient but unspectacular. Media, political, and commercial factors elevated the Spitfire while the Hurricane remained in the shadows. Yet the statistics tell the real story. Hurricanes flew the majority of sorties, staffed the largest number of squadrons, and bore the heaviest casualties. Of 544 fighter command pilots killed in the Battle of Britain, over 300 flew Hurricanes. Modern scholarship confirms they destroyed approximately 60% of enemy aircraft over Britain from July to October 1940. CAM's pragmatic engineering, stable, rugged, heavily armed, maintainable, gave Britain what it needed most, when it mattered most. An aircraft intelligence officers mocked, considered obsolete, and deemed unglamorous destroyed 1,593 enemy aircraft in 4 months. The so-called easy target didn't just survive the Battle of Britain. It won it.